Hi, this is Alex with 4.5, and did you ever think about asking your landlords what do they really want? Well, it's hard to get the real information out of people on the largest scale. So what we've done is we went on the internet and found hundreds of negative reviews that the homeowners, the landlords, have left a property management company. And we've compiled those into a kind of a database of 4 different categories with 9 opportunities that you can take advantage of right now to improve your service, get better retention, get more clients. Here's Denny with that information.
Let's look at what we've got here. We've taken the 9 most common complaints that homeowners have put online in the past 12 months and split them into 4 categories. So we have communication, technology, fees, and professionalism. So let's start with the first one, communication. When it comes to communication, there are 4 main complaints that people have. And this is what they bought online, right? So the first one is response time. When you take a long time to respond to an email, to a phone call, it makes the client that you currently have lose trust. And the fact that they're not hearing from you, the fact that they may be doubting the processes and what's going on, really can have an impact on the relationship with the client. So when it comes to response time, not only for new leads that are coming in, but definitely for current clients that you have. It's very, very important. The second one, phone tag. So we don't want to create a situation where the client is calling you, you're calling a client, you keep missing each other. By the time you call back, the client's already, the homeowner's already dropped the kids off at school and on the way to work and so on. We don't want to create a phone tag situation where you and the client keep chasing each other. So very, very important, and one big complaint that we definitely saw quite a few times show up. Number 3, when it comes to communication, updates. If the property, if contracts, if anything has gone through an update, you definitely want to keep the homeowner, your client, updated on everything that's going on. Otherwise, again, they'll be surprised by something later on and they'll be going online to leave negative reviews. Number 4, when it comes to communication, fees. So fees is definitely a big one that we saw, and definitely one that we want to pay attention to. Obviously, as a business, as a property management company, you have fees, you have a structure, certain bills that need to be taken care of. Now, the biggest complaint that we saw about fees are the surprised fees. So if you have certain fees inside the contract that you've already communicated to the client, to the homeowner, you don't want to go around changing those and create those surprise fees that everyone's talking about. So make sure that if you do have any other fees, they're communicated to your client and everybody is aware of what's going on. So that's category 1. Let's move on to category 2, technology. So when it comes to technology, there are 2 main reviews that we saw that kept appearing one after the other at all times throughout these last 12 months. So when it comes to technology, there are 2 things. Inspection images is the first one. So these days, with technology, with the way that you can use cameras and documentation and so on, one of the biggest complaints that we saw are homeowners that are getting reports back and there is not exactly any proof that stands behind these reports. So if you have the ability to add images to your inspection reports, that could be a huge help, and that could really help ease any doubts that your client is currently going through. So adding images to the inspection reports can be a big plus. The second one that we saw, contact options on website. So if you have a website and you have a contact us page or you have a call now page, you want to make sure that that all your details are actually showing up there. So the complaint that we saw a few times show up is that people are going to your tab where it's on your website that says contact us, but when they go, it's actually empty and there's no one to contact. So you want to make sure that there's no misleading information, and if you do have a contact us page, make sure that all the details are on there. Category 3, fees. So the biggest thing about fees, apart from the one that we mentioned in communication, is finances. And the biggest one that we saw here, the biggest complaint and the biggest negative reviews that came through in regards to the date that the fees, that the payments are made for the homeowners and for the property. So this was the biggest thing. If you are supposed to pay the homeowners on the 10th, you want to make sure that unless something terribly goes wrong, which then you can communicate to the clients, you keep it on the 10th. Because if you promise the 10th and it starts showing up on the 13th, 15th, that's when your clients are going to start losing trust in the process, trust in you, and are going to go back to, finding everything else that they could possibly find that is going wrong with the company. So if you promise payments on the 10th, you want to make sure that it definitely stays on the 10th and don't turn into anything later. And if it is, just make sure you communicate that to your clients. The last one, professionalism. Now, this is a big one, and we did see this appear up quite a few times. There's two things when it comes to professionalism. The first one is trustworthy vendors. So the vendors that you're hiring, if it's with maintenance or anything else, you want to make sure that when they do appear at properties, they are professional, obviously fully licensed, and know exactly where they're going, what they're doing, and if they can even know how long it's going to take, that's a huge bonus, because again, the tenants, the homeowners, they want to trust your processes, your companies, and when it comes to vendors, that is a huge, huge point. And the last thing when it comes to professionalism, be on time. So if you have set a time to meet a prospective client or current client at the property or anywhere else, you want to make sure that you're on time, because if you're 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour late, that can definitely, start creating those doubts. Unless obviously, everyone gets sometimes stuck in traffic and things happen. Again, you want to communicate those things, but if you have set a time, you want to be on time and you want to make sure that you can stick to that. Otherwise, as we said, that can cause all these doubts. So Danny here with 4.5. Today we spoke about the homeowner's wish list, what homeowners are looking for, and what has created them and made them go online and leave all these negative reviews. So if we can address these four, possibly get those fixed, possibly take these negative reviews and help you towards your processes and towards the future of your company, I think we've achieved quite a lot. So if you have any questions about marketing for your property management company, please let us know, and I'm always here to help. Thanks.